Welcome into the second look here on AL.com. Mark Heim and Craig Stephenson with you from McConnell Automotive on Dolphin Street in Mobile, Alabama. Craig, it's rivalry week, all the great ones, the Egg Bowl, Georgia, Georgia Tech. It's also Thanksgiving week, but around here we like to call it Iron Bowl week. Right. Let's talk about it. Alabama, Auburn, two teams on very different directions. Is this game close, competitive? Does Auburn have a shot? A lot of questions, few answers.
Yeah, I mean, where do you start with that one? I think that it'll be competitive. Auburn obviously puts a lot into this game every year. It seems like even when they're not so good, that this game is fairly close. However, Alabama is just a better team at almost every position. I can't see Auburn pulling off the upset. I think if they did, it might be the biggest upset in Iron Bowl history. You might have to go back to the 40s to find a bigger upset in this series.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, everybody always has a chance. You can never say no one ever has a chance, but let's be realistic about this. Auburn's got no chance. Alabama's better up front on both sides of the ball. They got better running backs. They certainly got better receivers. I think if you give Auburn an advantage, it might be in the kicking game a little bit. But Gus Malzahn has already admitted, it's been reported, he's going to have to go to the bag of tricks. In recent history, a coach that has to go to a bag of tricks is usually a sign of desperation anyway. It should be fun. There's going to be a lot of energy early on. Cam Newton's going to be there. There's going to be a lot of energy in Jordan Hare. It's going to be imperative for Auburn to start strong if they have any chance in this game.
Yeah, if Auburn does have one thing going for them, the pressure's kind of off of them. They did get to 6 wins, so they're bowl eligible, so they're not desperate for a victory, even though obviously if they could win, it would be huge. Alabama, on the other hand, has a lot on their shoulders. Not only they have to win this game to win the SEC West, to get to the SEC championship game, but to stay in the race for the playoff, because a 2-win SEC East champion or SEC West champion, even if Ole Miss were to lose to Mississippi State and send out Alabama to Atlanta by default, is not going to get into the playoff.
Quickly, your thoughts. Ryan Kelly doesn't know who Carl Lawson is.
I heard that.
Chuckle, chuckle. And of course, Cyrus Jones has a lot of comments about the Auburn wide receivers. A little bit off script from what we normally see from Nick Saban coach teams. What's your take on that here on Iron Bowl week?
It's interesting. You're right. I mean, we haven't seen it a lot in the past from Saban's teams, or even really in this rivalry much, at least before the game. Cyrus Jones, I think maybe he's speaking the truth. I mean, not only, Auburn has not been able to get the ball to those guys because they've had such issues at quarterback. There's a little talent there, but this is not a classic great receiving core. Ryan Kelly with Carl Lawson, Carl Lawson's played 4 games, so maybe he doesn't know who he is. Although, Lawson is far and away the best player on Auburn's team, so I'm sure Kelly will know who he is by the end of the game.
That does it for another edition of the second look. Tell us what you think. Give us your comments below. It's AL.com. Craig Stephenson, I'm Mark Heim. Have a great and happy Thanksgiving from McConnell Automotive right here on Dolphin Street in Mobile.